quick update here in Juneau. Yesterday, I felt like it was really good. We had good momentum. Today, you know, it's Sunday. Everything's closed, so it feels like the moment where you're kind of treading water, when you're kind of reaching out in the dark. We don't really have. I drove around, and like I said, everything's really closed. So it's our sort of our itemized thing of things that we need to accomplish for this tour business is on Monday morning, we need to have some sort of a game plan. Where are we going to get our funding? How are we going to get our funding instead of blindly reaching out on the internet? We're looking at like 15,000 for the summer for the space. I felt like my video log I recorded yesterday was really convincing. If I send that as part of the email with our prospectus, um, to the people who have the land there, they might change their deal or give us a deal where we can pay the 5,000 after a month has passed. Well, would give us the time to get up and going, um, which would be good. But I'm not sure that will work out like that. And uh, you know, so we have that, and then we need to get the seating, and we need to get some tent type structures up for the staging, and then also, especially because it's a downpour today, and then also for the seating for the tourists to get them in out of the rain and wind, and it makes me think, where are we going to get these tents? I was like driving around, and uh, supposedly someone up by Fisherman's Bend, which is up by the Squires and Auk Bay, there is where they were trying to get rid of a couple of big tents that were used. There's a dump down by Lemon Creek, and there was one there, and there was a for sale sign on the lot. It's literally the dump, though, and the guy was like, no, they're not selling it. Uh, really big tent, though, and like a big weatherport. Like we used to, on the helicopter glacier sled dog tours, we use the smaller tents, the wall tents, the weatherports, like a really big one, though. You could store like a big heavy equipment machinery in, or they were just using it as a shop. But for us, and like I stopped by also down there. There's a guy who's doing some firewood, and I was like, or is there anyone milling lumber around here, to make some nice seating, for the benches for the people to sit on. Can we work with the schools or something, like just grab some chairs, you know what I mean, and lease them and use them or return them. We're gonna probably have to have our people like living on site, which is great because it's accessible. It's within walking distance of downtown, just to protect, be security for our shit when we're not there. And can we put in some for our show and for our tour, some uh, you know, some pipes and stuff for the pull-up bars, for the parallel bars, for working out, but also for like the part of what we're trying to do with our show and the obstacle course. What are the specific things that we're going to have? The chopping the wood, the throwing the axe, the lumberjack elements. So there's a lot. There's really a lot there. There's a lot of money to be made though, and a little bit of hustle, a little bit of grind. I feel like will yield positive results. Um, and I'm like in one of the libraries here in Juneau, just recording this, and just the moment, it's just like it's a nice space. We're able to get organized, get dry for a second. It's pouring rain out there, and coming here, just like going to the gym, it's worth it. Just going to the gym, getting a shower. Uh, coming in here, getting the computer charged up, getting focused, checking things, just having a nice space, the lighting, being able to walk the dog down by the river and some fields. Um, the town is a real nice town. In other words, a lot of the things I was kind of mentioning, like, is there an ecosystem here? Well, there really is the space for a person to being able to reflect and being able to at least dream big. You know what I mean? Maybe however it comes to fruition, the atmosphere and the ambiance of the location is such where it yields. With the insight and with the life experience, etc., that brings you to the point where you can see the light. You believe in yourself. You believe you can do almost anything here. So, but there are a lot of obstacles there. So we've got to get the money for the location. We've got to get the seating and the tents. And like for instance, I was driving down by where the rock dump is, where there was a big indoor rock climbing gym and like a daycare center, and really cool place, by the way. But I was like, because they're going out of business in July, I was like, can we partner with them somehow and have some sort of indoor thing for a couple months? Because they've got the big walls. Maybe I can employ some of them as the staff and through a nonprofit and do some sort of sharing space thing and also incorporating the climbing the walls with our show. You know what I mean? And a lot of the people who go to the climbing gym would have the right, I think, you know, the right. Uh, in terms of a conservation, in terms of an environmental stewardship, in terms of a sensitive to the outdoors outlook, that would align with what we're trying to accomplish with our race and everything else, but also with the tour. So that would be kind of a cool. That would be kind of a cool feature, I think. And then all of a sudden, maybe we could pull some of them if we're providing them with a space because we're leasing the land, right? And we're using the indoor rock climbing walls is like the walls around our tent and helping them build the thing, or they're building they've got a location, they can kind of build it there. And then all of a sudden we can use the space for our show to include for our show, and they're not paying $5,000 a month. You see what I'm saying? We're paying that, but then all of a sudden we're getting some sort of a big tent structure. If this is making sense, I hope it is. Out of allowing them to take their thing, they're in a big warehouse right now, and sort of build this thing on our spot where they can be doing the rock climbing and stuff after hours when we're not doing the shows, or in between when we're not doing the shows. There can be the rock climbing thing, and also it can begin to cater more towards the tourists too, which I think would be really cool, and allow them to make some money. So I think that there's room for some creative collaborations. It makes me think though, the guy doing the firewood, the milling the wood, is there a chance? It makes me think no one's doing that here in town. Is anyone logging in town? That's what I was asking him. Back in the day, there was someone, I think it was Mackenzie River Logging Company, or someone up towards Passtock Bay, up the end of the road. And it's like another niche really to get into eventually is to, and I don't want to do that. I want to keep it very streamlined, efficient right now. I don't want to be using chainsaws. I don't want to be milling logs. That would be nice. But right now, we need to keep this as, is to the point. You don't want to get spread too thin. We want shelter. We want our location. We want insurance. We want some staff. We want to begin opening tours. We want like a ticket booth out there, which can be as simple as a roll, is some uprights, and make a little tent and put the clear plastic over it, serving the just good quality coffee with the butter coffee, the jerky, and have a blender and have Optimal Nutrition protein and some Vega protein, and selling the protein shakes and the coffee and the tickets for the show, and the high protein jerky, the lumberjack theme, and just rock and roll. And that's what I was thinking, like, why don't we call this show the Alaska Northwoods Rock and Roll, or like I don't know what we could call it, you know what I mean, but something creative along those lines. The Outdoor Rock Star, I don't know what it would be, but come up with a name too, and pull the pieces together and go for it, And I really wish I had a couple people with me right now so I could be like kind of like outsourcing some of this stuff and be like, you go do that. You're gonna go try to get the logs, figure out a way to get the logs. The person X, person Y is gonna go try to make a collaboration with the rock climbing gym. Person C is gonna go and come up with an itemized budget for some sort of a tent thing, and person D is going to go and go to all the schools and stuff and try to figure out, like the bleachers, like can we lease chairs or bleachers or anything like that for this thing. 200 seats is not that many, and plus we can have some standing room, and so this is not like, I'm kind of like making it sound, this is totally like one person, I can get this done. I'm gonna need staff for the thing too, so it's just all these different things kind of going through the head. But with the intense rain today, yesterday, it really drives it through. I seen a black bear last night where I was camped and walking by, and my dog was like, oh girl, like, it was kind of cool. But with the intense rain yesterday and today, it really drives it home that we need to have our I's dotted and our T's crossed in terms of the shelter for the tourists, as well as the shelter around the staging for the actual show. Not so much for the staging, but I think I think you need some shelter around there. And even if it's like even if it's just kind of a roof or a three-sided thing, I think we can make that, and that's what I was saying yesterday. I think that there's room to try to be like, try to make it, with some of the clear tarp and stuff, and just some logs and some poles, even if they're repurposed telephone poles or something like that. But it would be cool if there was someone milling logs. I'm sure there's a tree service company or something here, but if there was someone milling logs and there was some local lumber company or something, I'm not sure there is. And down the line, now not the first year, but down the line, that would be cool to get into that a little bit, and to be doing some of that work on the side, or maybe someone working for us or with us, we could help them get into that. And I think that would be a cool aspect for the community. There's a lot of cool driftwood, it's just some nice cedar benches or something, I don't know. But not my forte, not something I'm trying to do today. Anyway, it's kind of an update.